In the city of Eldra, two families gathered for a big barbecue in a beautiful backyard garden with a sparkling infinity pool and a view of downtown. The Quiros and Lamara families always had their Sunday feasts together after church, switching homes each week. This time, Lena and her husband Jonas sat holding hands, whispering sweet words to each other. Suddenly, Mara called out, "Hey, lovebirds, can't you see your kids are making the pool dirty?" Jonas quickly jumped up and rushed to get their three children out of the pool. He scolded them gently. "Sit with your father now and behave," he said, sending them over to Omar, who was chatting with his friend Henry. Lena then headed to the kitchen, where Rena was busy. "Rena, your kitchen is amazing. I can't get over how beautiful it is," Lena complimented, her eyes wide with admiration. Rena waved her hand dismissively. "Oh, this? It's nothing special." Lena, surprised, replied, "Of course, you've never seen anything like it," without even looking at her, brushing her off as if she didn't matter. "I don't need your help, the maids have everything under control. Go and relax in the garden." Feeling a bit hurt by Rena's tone, Lena went back to the garden. Jonas saw the sadness in her eyes and gave her a gentle kiss on the forehead. At sunset, when the streetlights began to glow, the Lamara family walked back to their house, which was right across from the Quiros' home. They held hands, with Jonas watching the children as they ran ahead to greet their grandfather. Jonas turned to his wife, gently brushing the hair from her face. "Darling, every time we come back from the Quiros, you seem sad. Did something happen?" Jonas asked, holding her hand and looking concerned. "No, darling, it's nothing you should worry about," Lena said, pulling her husband's hand to lead him inside. Jonas reassured her, saying, "If these Sunday feasts make you unhappy, we can stop doing them." When they entered the house, they found Jonas' father in the living room, chatting with the grandchildren about their visit. "Grandpa, I don't like Mrs. Quiro. She always shouts and frowns at us. I don't want to go there anymore," one grandchild said, looking upset. "Listen, my dear, the Quiros are our family friends. Mr. Quiro has been your father's best friend and employer since before you were born. Mr. Quiro is a kind and good man, isn't he?" Mr. Lamara asked his grandson, who nodded reluctantly and left the room. "Father, have you eaten yet?" Lena asked her father-in-law, getting up to fix him some food. "No, daughter, sit down and relax. I will eat later. You just rest with your husband," Mr. Lamara said in a caring voice. Rena stood on the balcony of her big house, watching the Lamara family cross the street to their smaller, simpler home. She kept watching even after they went inside. After a while, she went downstairs and found her maids cleaning the house. "Hurry up. Why are you so slow?" she complained to the maids. "Make sure all the guests' mess is cleaned up. I don't even know why my husband keeps having this Sunday feast with people like the Lamiras. They're way beneath us." The next Sunday after church, Rena and her husband Leon went to the Lamiras' house. When they arrived, Jonas' father greeted them. "Good day, Uncle. Where is everyone? You all didn't come to church today. Is everything all right?" Rena asked. Mr. Lamara replied quietly, "They're in the backyard." The Quiros walked to the backyard and found Jonas grilling while Lena made salads and set the table. Jonas saw them and came over to greet them. As everyone sat down to eat, Omar held his wife's hand tightly and shared the sad news about his illness. "I have a terminal illness," he said softly. Lena hugged his arm, tears in her eyes. Heartbroken, Rena asked, "Is there anything we can do?" Jonas and Lena shook their heads sadly. The mood was heavy with sadness and loss. Suddenly, Rena broke the silence. "I forgot my own utensils. I can't use these," she said, making a fuss. She sent one of the Lamara children to get her utensils from her house. Jonas was furious. Was that really necessary? Omar was sharing something important, he snapped, pulling her inside their house. After they left the Lamara's house, Jonas said, "You are so insensitive. You think Omar is more important than my preferences. Just because his father worked for your father doesn't make Omar your friend. He's a servant's son, you hear me?" Jonas shot back, unable to contain his anger. Rena threw the utensils away. At that moment, your spoons were more important than his health. Is this about Lena? Jonas yelled, following her to the bedroom. You think I don't see how you look at her? She may be kind and beautiful, but I'm your wife. You should take my side. Can I please shower now? I can't do this again, Jonas said, walking to the shower and turning on the water. Rena stood there, fuming, before storming off back to the bedroom, where she angrily threw the pillows and bedding on the floor. As time passed, Omar's illness made him weaker. Unable to eat hard food, he became much thinner and unrecognizable until he could no longer get out of bed. This made Lena very sad. She used to be the one who was loved and cared for, but now she was the one taking care of her husband. She often cried, seeing her strong husband turn into someone so frail. The one who used to comfort and cherish Lena now relied on her for everything. She stayed by his side, holding his hand and comforting him. It was a hard time for both of them. One evening, as the sun set and the room was quiet, Jonas knew his time was near. He held Lena's hand tightly, his father sitting close by. "Dear," he whispered, "you have made me the happiest man in the world. When I am gone, find love again and take care of our children and my father, just like you always have." With these words, Jonas closed his eyes for the last time, ending their 10 years of a happy marriage. Leon tried his best to comfort the Lamara family during these tough times. He felt heartbroken that he only found out about his friend's illness in the final days. They stopped having their Sunday lunches together, and Leon missed those happy moments. After Jonas passed away, Lena mourned her husband for a whole year. During this time, Leon often visited the Lamara house and helped out with money where he could. Staying late into the night, he would sit by the fireplace with Mr. Lamara, chatting and laughing, while Rena paced back and forth in their own home, waiting for her husband to return. When Leon finally came back one night, he found Rena furious. "Why are you always at the Lamara's house?" she demanded. "I'm sorry, Rena. I lost track of time. Mr. Lamara was telling me old stories, and I couldn't stop him," Leon explained. "Are you sure you were with Mr. Lamara, or was it Lena?" Rena accused. "Why are you so obsessed with Lena?" "It's exhausting," Leon replied, frustrated. "I just don't like her. She acts too perfect. There's something about her which is similar to someone I used to know who steals other people's men," Rena snapped. "I don't know what to say, Rena. I'm tired of your constant nagging. If you don't believe me, go ask the Lamiras yourself," Leon said, jumping into bed to sleep. Rena, still angry, kept shaking him to talk, but he turned away, closing his eyes. In a cozy office, Leon looked at Lena and smiled. "You remind me of someone I used to know. Her name was Nayla," he said, his face showing a mix of happiness and sadness as he remembered. As Lena filled out some forms, Rena suddenly appeared at the door. She heard Leon mention Nayla and stormed in, walking slowly but with anger in her eyes. "What are you doing here at my husband's company?" she demanded, glaring at Lena. Before Lena could answer, Leon stepped in. "Lena doesn't have to explain anything to you," he said, trying to protect her. This made Rena even angrier. She started screaming at Lena, calling her a homewrecker. Leon tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't listen. Lena, feeling embarrassed and hurt, quickly left the office, covering her face as Rena continued to shout. Leon ran after Lena to comfort her, but she shook her head. "Go back to your wife and stop following me," she said, not wanting to talk. When Leon returned to his office, he found his employees pretending to be busy, trying not to show that they had seen the fight. Rena was sitting in his chair, spinning around like she owned the place. "Explain to me what you were doing alone with her. How dare you run after her like that?" she shouted, her voice echoing in the office. I already told you, Rena. Lena was helping me with a project. Stop acting like this is a big deal. I'm tired of your jealousy, Leon said, exhausted by the argument. You won't stop seeing her unless you want to end our marriage. Rena threatened, not backing down. Let me ask you this, Rena, Leon said calmly, when have I ever been unfaithful to you? What has Lena done to you to make you hate her so much? You act as if you're innocent, but your jealousy is driving me mad. Rena was taken aback. Me? Jealous? I just know women like her. She's the same as Nayla, a seductress. Leon shook his head. You are mistaken, Rena. Lena is nothing like Nayla. Your jealousy will destroy our marriage if you don't stop. Think about what you're doing.